Hey there, this is Mark. In this video we'll take a look and see how we can treat a puddle shadow. If I look at the shadow in render view right now, you can see that it's a black hard-edged circle. And what we'd like to do is make this look a little more pleasing. Now you have a few options to treat this. There's something called the shadow module, which we'll show at the first. And there's something that I prefer to use, which is the matte blur, so I'll drag that in as well. Now these are both loose. So I'm going to use the shadow module and straight connect it to the girl shadow. And immediately what you can see is that it makes it slightly more transparent, gives it a blurred edge, and it's a little more pleasing than having that hard dark black shadow. If we look at the properties, we have options to make this more or less blurry and also change the red, green, and blue alpha. If you use the shadow module, it's using a blend mode to multiply down to the background. In case you need to, in case you run into issues, you might want to use a different approach. Not only that, but I prefer to use a matte blur where I can color it a certain way as well. The matte blur simply gives it a color as opposed to using a blend mode. So I'll connect this, and the matte blur's default color is a white. So I'll go over here and first I'll make it a little more blurry. Let's do a 1. And then I can click the color to change it. And I'll go to my multi-wheel mode to have more options. And over here we can pick a kind of a dark gray and play with the transparency here so it's not so opaque. So that's not bad, but what I might want to do is match the color of the shadows in the environment. And you can see that it's an orangish light, but the shadows are more like a cool blue purple. So I can simply try to pick one, or I could even just click and find a purple that I like in this environment. And then I can draw back from it until I find that there's something that I like in here, or I can simply hover over here until I like the shadow. And maybe a little less saturation, there we go. So I find that this shadow works nicely in this environment, and it gives me a different option than simply using the shadow module. And there you go.